Amitabh Bachchan, born on October 11, 1942 in Allahabad, India, is one of the greatest icons of Indian cinema. With his towering height of nearly 6 feet 10 inches, his deep, powerful voice, and his piercing gaze, he has captured the hearts of millions of audiences around the world. He has been dubbed the Emperor of Bollywood, a title that not only honors his acting talent but also marks his profound influence on popular culture. Over 5 decades, he has appeared in more than 200 films, ranging from action classics to deep dramas. His career is not only a story of talent but also a journey of overcoming adversity, rebirth, and leaving an immortal legacy. He is not only an actor, but also a television host, film producer, and an inspirational figure to millions. From his early struggles in the film industry to his rise to cultural prominence, his story is a testament to the power of will and passion. Born into an educated family in Allahabad, now Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh, he grew up in an environment steeped in culture and education. His father, Harivansh Rai Bachchan, was a renowned Hindi poet whose poetry was romantic and deeply philosophical. His mother, Teji Bachchan, was a social activist and stage actress who inspired his love of the arts. His family was middle class, with a strong cultural background. His name, Amitabh, means eternal light in Sanskrit, a name that seemed to have predestined his brilliant career. He had a younger brother, Ajitabh, who later became a successful businessman. He was raised in an environment that encouraged learning and creativity. He studied at the prestigious Sherwood High School in Nainital, where he began to show his talent in acting and debating. However, he was also a shy boy, often teased by his classmates because of his height. After graduating from high school, he went to Kirori Mal College, Delhi University, and earned a Bachelor of Science degree. Despite his solid academic background, his heart was always in the arts, especially cinema. His early years were not easy. In 1960, at the age of 18, he left Allahabad for Kolkata in search of opportunities in the entertainment industry. He worked for a transport company for a modest salary, living in a cramped room. This was a difficult period, as he faced repeated rejections from film producers. His deep voice and unusual height were considered unsuitable for the standards of a film star of the time. Many directors thought that he did not have the traditional handsome looks and that opportunities for him were almost non-existent. However, it was these features that later became his trademark, helping him stand out from the crowd. During his days in Kolkata, he lived a simple life, often walking through the crowded streets, dreaming of one day standing in front of the camera. His perseverance finally paid off when he got his first role, marking the turning point in a long journey. In 1969, he took on a role in a film directed by Khwaja Ahmad Abbas. Although the film was not a commercial success, his performance impressed the critics, earning him the Best Supporting Actor award at the National Film Festival of India. However, it was in 1973, with the role of Vijay Khanna in an action film, that he truly became a phenomenon. The film was about a young, angry police officer fighting crime. Vijay's role, with its combination of inner pain and physical strength, helped him define the angry young man image. The film was not only a huge success but also reflected the psychology of a generation of young Indians who were disaffected with corruption and social injustice. From there, he became a symbol of righteous rebellion, a hero who was not only strong but also had scars on his soul. This success opened doors for him, catapulting him to the top of Bollywood. The 1970s were his heyday. He starred in a string of blockbusters, each of which left a lasting impression on audiences. One of his most famous films was a story about 2 friends fighting a notorious robber. It is considered one of the greatest hits in Bollywood history, with record-breaking box office returns and a legacy that has lasted for generations. Another, with its classic dialogue about self-respect, became a cultural icon, reflecting human resilience and dignity in the face of adversity. He worked tirelessly, often making 3 to 4 films at a time, and became the highest-paid star in Bollywood. Producers lined up to book him, and audiences were willing to pay to see any film with his name on it. He was not just an actor, but a brand, a symbol of strength and determination. Despite his public persona, he kept many aspects of his life private. One of his biggest secrets involved his complicated relationship with a famous actress, one of Bollywood's biggest stars in the 1970s and 1980s. Their rumored affair has been the subject of controversy for decades, but neither has ever publicly acknowledged it. It all began on the set of a film where they first worked together. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, and audiences were quickly drawn to rumors of an off-screen relationship. Subsequent films have fueled speculation, especially when one film is said to mirror a love triangle between him, the actress, and his wife. In a rare interview, the actress hinted that she had fallen in love with a man who could not be hers. He, meanwhile, has remained silent, refusing to comment on any of the rumors. The secret became part of Bollywood legend, with many believing that their love was a tragic tale, suppressed by family responsibilities and social pressures. The greatest sadness in his life was probably a near-fatal accident on set in 1982. During an action scene, he was seriously injured while performing a fight. He suffered broken ribs, severe internal injuries, and fell into a coma. Doctors said he had only a 50% chance of survival. The accident was not only a shock to his family but also shook the whole country of India. Millions of fans gathered outside the hospital, praying for him. The Prime Minister of India, a close family friend, personally visited him. After weeks of treatment, he gradually recovered, but the accident left him with long-term health problems. The sadness came not only from the physical pain but also from the changes in his life afterwards. He once shared that the accident made him realize the fragility of life. He became more quiet, and his relationships with some friends and colleagues gradually became distant. This was also the time when his career began to slow down, as his later films were no longer as successful as before. Another sadness in his life was the separation from his son in his early years. Due to his busy work schedule, he was often away from home, and this made him feel regretful for not spending enough time with his family. Although he and his son later built a close relationship, he once admitted that those years were a wound that was difficult to heal. He always tried to make up for his son by supporting his career, but he also understood that nothing could replace the lost moments. This sadness, although not spoken of publicly, was part of his deep reflections on his responsibility as a father and the sacrifices he had made for his career. His career was not always smooth. He was involved in many scandals, both in his personal life and at work, which shook his image as a perfect hero. In 1990, he founded a film production company. The company invested in several large projects, including an international beauty pageant in India. However, his lack of management experience led to a disastrous financial failure. The company owed hundreds of millions of rupees, and he went bankrupt. The scandal not only affected his finances but also damaged his reputation. Many criticized him for his overambition and poor management. He was forced to sell many assets, including his house in Mumbai, to pay off the debts. However, he showed resilience by working tirelessly to revive his career, from acting to hosting television shows. In 1984, he entered politics when he contested the Allahabad parliamentary seat on the ticket of the Congress Party. He won by a landslide, but just 3 years later, he resigned after being implicated in a bribery scandal over an arms deal. Despite no direct evidence against him, his name was dragged into the scandal, causing him to announce his permanent retirement from politics. He once said that politics was a quagmire that he never wanted to return to. These scandals, along with rumors about his personal life, put him under great pressure from the public and the media. However, he always kept a calm attitude, focusing on work and family to overcome the storms. His health has always been a major concern for his fans. After the accident in 1982, he faced many health problems, including organ damage and physical decline. In 1984, he was diagnosed with hepatitis B, a disease that severely affected his liver. However, he maintained a disciplined lifestyle to control the disease. He is a vegetarian and avoids alcohol and tobacco. He wakes up at 5 every morning and practices yoga and meditation to maintain his mental and physical health. He also blogs regularly and interacts with his audience on social media, a habit that helps him stay connected with his audience. Even at the age of 82, he continues to work tirelessly, acting, hosting, and advertising. However, his age and medical history have seen him hospitalized several times in recent years. In 2020, he and his son both contracted an infectious disease, causing concern among his fans. Fortunately, both recovered, but the incident once again reminded everyone of the fragility of his health. His lifestyle is a mix of simplicity and luxury. He lives in a luxurious mansion in Mumbai, but always maintains a humble and approachable demeanor. He is known for handwriting fan letters and regularly meets fans outside his house every Sunday morning, a tradition that has lasted for decades. This closeness has helped him maintain the affection of his audience across generations. One of his biggest pains in old age is the feeling of growing disconnection from the modern world. As someone who grew up in post-independence India, he often finds it difficult to adapt to the pace of change in society and technology. He once shared that he was worried about the disconnect between generations, as traditional values were gradually forgotten in the digital age. This distance also came from the change he felt in the film industry. Today's Bollywood, with its dominance of young stars and highly commercialized films, seemed to have no place for the deep stories he once loved. Although he still acted in films, he often chose challenging roles to prove that he was still relevant to the times. This pain was even more personal when he witnessed the difficulties in his son's career. Although a talented actor, his son never achieved the success that his father had, and this made him feel helpless. He once said that he wished he could shoulder the pressure for his son, but everyone has their own journey. His distance also came from his own loneliness. Despite being loved by millions, he often felt isolated by the spotlight. He wrote that he sometimes wished he could go back to his carefree days in Allahabad, when he was just a normal guy, away from the public eye. These reflections reveal a deep and vulnerable side of him, a man who lived under the pressure of fame. Throughout his career, he rarely spoke about his love life. However, in a 2019 interview, he broke his silence by talking about his love for his wife. He described her as the wind that kept the fire burning inside him, the one who had always been there for him through thick and thin. He and his wife first met on a film set in 1971, when they were both young actors. With her strong personality and acting talent, she quickly attracted him. They married on January 3, 1973, just before his career took off. Their marriage has lasted more than 50 years, a rarity in the entertainment world. Despite rumors of a rift, he insists that his wife has always been the most important person in his life. He says that she is not only his wife but also his confidant, who has helped him find meaning when he was lost. This openness is a turning point, as he usually avoids talking about private matters. It also reflects his emotional maturity at 77, when he is no longer afraid to express his love and gratitude for the woman who has accompanied him. However, he has remained silent about the secrets surrounding his rumored relationship with the famous actress. In a personal blog post in 2020, he indirectly admitted that his life was not as perfect as the public thought. He wrote that there were decisions he made out of responsibility, and there were pains he chose to keep secret because he did not want to hurt others. These words were widely interpreted as referring to that relationship. Although not explicitly stated, it is clear that he faced internal conflicts between love, honor, and family responsibility. In 2000, he made his glorious comeback as the host of a television show, the Indian version of an internationally renowned game show. At the age of 58, when many thought his career was over, he proved that he was still an irreplaceable force. With his elegant demeanor, deep voice, and great connection, he turned the show into one of the most popular television shows in India. The show not only helped him clear his debts but also brought him a new generation of fans. Young viewers, who had never seen his classic films, now knew him as a relatable and inspirational host. This success opened a new chapter in his career, bringing him back to the forefront of the entertainment industry. In parallel, he continued to act in films with more diverse roles. In a 2000 film, he played a stern but compassionate principal, winning the hearts of young audiences. Subsequent films showed that he could play complex characters, from a traditional father to a devoted teacher. One role in 2005 in particular brought him numerous awards and international critical acclaim. His rebirth was not only professional, but also spiritual. He overcame bankruptcy, illness, and doubt to prove that age was no barrier. He once shared that every time he thought he had hit rock bottom, he found a reason to get up. His legacy spans from film to television, from music to fashion, and from the way he shaped the image of heroes to the way he inspired generations to come. In cinema, he changed the way Indians look at protagonists. Before him, male leads were usually romantics or idealized heroes. But he brought a new kind of hero, complex, angry, and grounded in reality. This image influenced a series of films in the 70s and